On today's Sometimes Daily Show, we're going to be taking a bit of a deeper look at Xbox's latest purchase. But before we get into it, I'm Philip Edwards.
And I'm Michael Palmer. I'm sure by now everyone has heard that Microsoft has acquired Zenimax Media and thus all of its subsidiaries for an unfathomable $7.5 billion. This means that Xbox now owns Bethesda Game Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, id, Zenimax Online, Tango Gameworks, AlphaDog, and Roundhouse Studios, bringing the total number of studios Xbox owns up to 23.
Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Exclusivity. What does this mean for Bethesda games going forward? Phil Spencer has already confirmed that it will be handled on a case-by-case basis, but I understand that won't be comforting for some of you. So let's ask, would Xbox make all Bethesda games Xbox exclusive?
Not completely, no. It doesn't make financial sense. What does Xbox gain from making it completely exclusive instead of making it timed? A few console sales? I don't know for certain, but I somewhat suspect that the number of people who would purchase an entire console for one game isn't that high. Sure, that number would increase the more exclusives they get. Having a collection of the best games this generation made PS4 sell like hotcakes. But, even taking that into consideration, console sales are always a loss for a company. They never make money on the box itself. The goal is to get people into the ecosystem. In this case, Game Pass. That is easily achieved through a 6 months timed exclusivity. That way, anyone who would convert to Xbox would have already done so, and you get to monetize the people who won't convert.
With the amount of money Xbox dropped on this, they'll be looking to recoup that cash relatively fast. The easiest way to do that is to allow their games to exist on as many platforms as possible, and Xbox does have a history of this. In an effort to expand Game Pass for PC, a large collection of what used to be Xbox exclusives have ended up on PC. After Microsoft acquired Mojang, what changed for PlayStation players of Minecraft? Nothing. Minecraft Dungeons, a game made by an Xbox studio, was released on all platforms. Xbox have shown they don't care about launching exclusively on their platform, and it's not because they love gamers, it's because they love money. Phil Spencer has also already confirmed that Xbox will honour the PlayStation exclusivity deal in regards to Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. There will also be no change in support for ESO on PlayStation.
I can already see the marketing. Imagine when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, all of the marketing saying, play it on this date with Game Pass day 1. Then, 6 months later, it releasing on PlayStation. You get to have a second round of marketing and effectively a second launch. Any Xbox player who didn't pick it up in the first wave would see all the marketing and wonder if it was available on Xbox rather than PlayStation. And boom! Even more sales. All this being said, we understand that having to wait 6 months for a game would be super annoying. Quick side note. If you're one of those people who ever complained about one of Sony's games coming to Xbox or PC after a set length of time, like the people who destroyed their own PlayStations because Horizon Zero Dawn was coming to PC, or you're one of the PlayStation stands who would gloat about exclusivity and how that made your console better, leave. This is just a taste of your own medicine, and you do not get to complain when it's used against you. Mini rant over. Anyway, we know it's super annoying, and the question is being asked, why would Bethesda even take this? Staying independent would allow them so much more freedom.
The answer is cash. Bethesda have been bleeding cash for a while. Bethesda games are incredibly expensive to make. Most of the time they sell well, but rarely do they sell phenomenally. Combine that with the fact that the audience for these games is notoriously hard to monetize, it makes for a situation where Bethesda is profitable, sure, but not massively. We've already seen an example of how this acquisition is going to lead to better Bethesda games.
In a statement Todd Howard made about the acquisition, he said, quote, "With each new console cycle, we evolve together, from bringing mods to consoles with Fallout 4, now over 1 billion downloads, to the latest technologies fueling Xbox Series X and S. These new systems are optimized for the vast worlds we love to create, with generational leaps not just in graphics, but CPU and data streaming as well. It's led to our largest engine overhaul since Oblivion, with all new technologies powering our first new IP in 25 years, Starfield, as well as the Elder Scrolls 6, end quote. Now, while we know Todd Howard has lost almost all of his credibility in the last few years, it's exciting to hear that they are going to be making big changes to that 2-decade-old engine. This stands in stark contrast to his position not even 2 years ago when he said, quote, "We like our editor. It allows us to create worlds really fast and the modders know it really well. There are some elementary ways we create our games and that will continue because that lets us be efficient and we think it works best." End quote.
Another example is, it has very recently come out that Arcane, the people behind Dishonored and Prey, are now hiring for a brand new AAA game. I wonder if they'd be willing to risk making a brand new IP when sequels and remakes sell so much better. Or maybe now that they have the backing of the giant that is Microsoft, they feel a little more secure when it comes to funding.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. We also hope we helped allay some of the fears you might have had about this deal and helps you to understand why we here at the show actually think this deal is going to be great for all gamers. Remember to come back tomorrow for another daily show, because if you don't, then we're going to tell Microsoft to make Elder Scrolls 6 a Stadia exclusive. Sure, we don't have that kind of clout right now, but in 10 years' time, when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, who knows how big we'll be. So, see you tomorrow.